Safe area entered.
Hey, Gator, can you do me a favor? Can you go to my YouTube channel and see if the live stream is working? Sorry if I got y'all killed.
Good to see you. You need to craft something?
Are you hearing the voice or anything? Or is it just gameplay? So it's a 5-second delay. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Sweet. So it is streaming. Oh, that's fucking awesome. I finally got this thing to work.
What's up, Agent?
Nah, hell no. I ain't doing all that E to Ripper and everybody else's stuff. Heck no. Alright, so I'm gonna jump out of party now that I know it's working, and I'm gonna do my video real quick, and I will get back with you guys after I'm done. Alright, you guys be safe out there. You get some rogues. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, finally, after a successful test and testing, and now I got you guys in here. Okay, let's talk about some of these things that need to be addressed. So, for one, let's go down to the toxicity build that I have created. Now, as for a lot of people don't know, the traps are supposedly getting a I guess kind of not really a nerf, not really a buff, not really anything. They're just being fixed, supposedly. Before the PTS comes out, they used to be able to just throw and immediately jump onto you and stick you. And even with this right here, you just need like a tier 1 just to get some extra damage out. Tier 2 would guarantee to drop a player when they stuck to them. Now, I think prior to like TU 9 or 10 when they came out, the devs stated that these traps were going to allow to stick to players. And the more that they stick to you, it would get headshot damage, it would get all this extra multiplicative, which is why they hit so hard and they're able to kill players with barely any skill damage. So because of that, that's going to be getting a fix, and whether or not this is confirmed or not, the damage that they're going to be doing is still going to be about the same, but they're going to be able to not stick to the player. They're going to have like a 5 or 10 second timer before they actually drop and hit you when they're thrown. So that's going to give you a chance to run away, but if you walk over them, they're going to basically kill you still, depending on how much damage they have. So that's getting a fix. Other than that, shields. This shield right here, the striker shield, is the one that is supposedly getting a nerf so far. All these other ones are not getting a nerf. This one is because it gives out extra damage. So because it gives out extra damage, this one here has been getting a nerf to taking in extra damage. So supposedly it's going to be kind of like a glass cannon type shield, where you get the extra damage, but you also take in more damage. Those so far are what's being fixed. As for that, the other thing is for these other builds and stuff like that, what is it? uh, this one right here. So Intimidate is supposedly getting a nerf to the damage to where it's not instantaneous. It's going to be getting to where it stacks up. Basically, as long as you have blue armor, it should be stacking up damage and stuff. And that's about all it's going to have. So when you are near a player with like a big shield and you're able to take in some damage, you'll be fine, but you're not going to be able to do like instantaneous 30% damage. It's going to be as you stack it up, you'll be able to get more and more damage. So basically, a shield build like I have right here, where you have a lot of armor and a lot of survivability with the big shield, it's going to allow you to stack up that damage and get the damage out at the same time. So this will not be getting too much of a nerf with pistol type shield builds. This will actually make this build pretty strong. And you'll be able to stand there, take some damage, and so on and so forth. Still be able to drop players. Now, other than that, the other thing that we need to talk about, which I've had in one of my videos, which I'd rather just go over a little bit more, which is why I'm trying to go live, is these talents on the weapons. Now, I hope to God these devs see this, but there's 2 talents typically to every single one of the weapons, like rifles, ARs, SMGs. So Rifleman, which is, of course, it's got the title Rifleman in there. I doubt that this one here could be moved over to like an AR or an SMG or something like that, because it's about rifle. It says Rifleman. Would be nice to get some extra headshot damage as I stack it up and put that on an AR, especially with the new update that's coming out. Because, I mean, heck, that's I can stack it 5 times. That's 50% weapon damage. It'd be beautiful if I could land headshots and get 50% damage just like that and put Rifleman onto an AR. That would be beautiful. A lot of people would like that. The other one is Boomerang. As long as I'm critting, and at least if the bullet crits, I get 40% increased weapon damage. You know, that would be nice. Now, I get why this one's only on rifles, because you're going to shoot very slow and things of that nature. So these 2, I get that they're on rifles and they need to stay on rifles, but, you know, maybe having a chance to put that onto ARs, SMGs, things like that, that would be kind of interesting. Not saying it needs to happen, but it would be interesting. Same with some of these other talents. And there's always 2. So, for instance, I believe it's nearsighted and one of these, I'm not sure. I know measure can be on LMGs and things like that, so I don't think that one's. It may just be these 3. So nearsighted, I get stability at the cost of optimal range. That would be great for LMGs. It would even be great for, say, SMGs, because I can trade that optimal range, which, I mean, I got to be up close and personal to get stability, and I can just beam headshots with a submachine gun. Okay, cool. Why not put that on LMGs? Why not put that on rifles? Why not put that on something else? Same with this one right here. This is talent reloading on empty grants weapon handling for 10 seconds. Weapon handling, nobody really needs. Yes, it does help out, but it's not a really great talent. This one might need to be looked at, say, not just weapon handling, but maybe some increased rate of fire. Maybe 10% more weapon damage added to it, especially like perfect talents. You know, make some of these into perfect talents. I mean, you got perfect talents on almost all this other stuff. And Eyeless doesn't even have a perfect talent, and we don't really have a whole lot of things that blind. So why do we even have Eyeless? That's another great question. But overflowing. You know, we have, I think what's that one AR? The AK-47. I believe that one's got the perfect overflowing, where on the second reload, you get 100% of your magazine and so forth. So that one, I already know that one's on the Maniac. That's what it was. The Maniac. So that one's already got a perfect talent, but maybe not just increase the magazine capacity. Maybe give it 20% more weapon damage or something on the second reload. You know, things of that nature. I've had these ideas for a while, so that's why I'm just trying to go over it. But, for instance, this one. Hitting an enemy with no armor grants 50% headshot damage for 5 seconds. Why is this only 5 seconds? By the time I reload, and I've gotten that enemy down to, say, no armor, even with a sniper rifle, and I have a good sniper rifle build where I can one-tap them, that doesn't help me any. You know? for 5 seconds, because then I may have to use that one shot and then I got to hit the next guy. And maybe I missed that shot, and I don't have that 5 seconds. Why not increase this to 10? You know, some small little things like this need to be looked at. Same with First Blood. If your scope, first shot fired out of combat after fully reloading on empty. This one's got a perfect talent. Okay, and I believe it's two shots, not just the first shot. Deals headshot damage to any part of the body. Why is this one not on also on rifles and things like that? They would have to fire. They get a little bit of headshot damage. That one would be great for, say, even rifles or even shotguns. But the problem is you couldn't use it on shotgun because it requires you to have an 8-time magnification or higher scope. So why not allow that for rifles? Shotguns. There are 2 talents on here that just are completely like doesn't even, or actually there's one that makes no sense, and that's pumped up. Reloading grants 1% weapon damage for 10 seconds. It only counts the full reload. So if I got 5 rounds or 20 rounds or anything like that, that's one piece for the stack. And it can stack up to 25 times. It doesn't count per bullet. This one needs to be looked at. So if I stack up, say, 5 rounds, I can get 5% weapon damage. But if I have a magazine on, say, I think there's 3 of them that have magazines, it only counts the magazine. It doesn't count the rounds, it counts the magazine. So this one needs to be looked at if we want to even get that weapon damage out. But even still, it's only 10 seconds. Why is there 10 seconds on there? Why does it say it dissipates after 10 seconds? You know, when you're done with the max amount of 25 times to get 25% weapon damage. Why not after you get that, it starts dissipating after 10 seconds if you don't reload? You know, same with that one. Let's go to SMGs. Outsider. This one would be great for LMGs. After killing an enemy, you grant that much optimum range and that much accuracy for 10 seconds. Because on, what is it, the SMG or the LMGs for this one right here, I'll show you a talent that makes no sense. Overwhelm. If they're suppressed, you can't shoot them. They literally might come out as suppressed. You can't even suppress players. So why is this one even in here? Why not put Outrider or Outsider into this and trade this completely on? Let's go back to SMGs real quick because there's one more I want to talk about. Unwavering. Swapping to this weapon grants 30% weapon handling for 5 seconds. The perfect Unwavering gives you 400% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Yet there's a talent on a chest piece, I believe it's Gunslinger, that's 5 seconds, which needs to be for 10 seconds because the other piece on the backpack doesn't even help out either. Because that one's for 10 seconds. So why are these for 5? When they're basically all those are combined together to help you out. They all need to be for 10 seconds. Period. Yes, there's a perfect talent of this one, and I get that it's for SMGs, to give you more accuracy, more damage because of the weapon handling, faster reload speed, all that. But what's odd is, even this Unwavering, which says weapon handling, and we know it's for reload speed and all that, if you put weapon handling onto your build, your weapon does not always, and I don't know if it's a glitch in the system, does not get the reload speed part. But this one here, the Unwavering, does. So why is this weapon handling, because it's 300% more, give you more reload speed? Come on, devs. Take a look at this. Figure it out. Tell us why it's doing that. So, another one. Unhinged. Only for LMGs. Grants 18% weapon damage at the cost of 25% stability and accuracy. Why is this not on anything else? We would trade that stability and accuracy just to get the straight 18% on SMGs, ARs, stuff like that. So we can just get the straight damage, period. Why is that not there? Same with Frenzy. I don't think I've seen Frenzy on anything else except for LMGs, which is why I think it's the only one on there. So for 10 bullets, yes, I may have a 100-round magazine on an LMG, which gives me 30% weapon damage. I would love to have that 3% extra rate of fire and 3% weapon damage for every 10 bullets, or even, let's say, every 5 bullets on an AR. Just give us that, and then we'd have 30% weapon damage. And all we have to do is reload from empty. So let's say a player misses that reload and they've only got 10 bullets on, and then they reload. they lose out on that frenzy proc, but they have to just dump their mag, basically a mag dump to get this. Players would love to have that on, say, ARs or SMGs or things like that. Why is this only on LMGs? Give us this stuff that I'm asking for, and I guarantee you'll see tons of people doing different types of builds, different types of talents. They can run whatever they want in the DZ, give you tons more diversity, you know. And for pistols, I don't really think there's anything great about the pistol ones, but I believe salvage and finisher. Now, killing a target has a 70% chance to refill the magazine, and there's a perfect salvage on the pistol. There needs to be damage to this as well, because the pistol that it has on there has hardly any good damage. Finisher, yeah, we get it. Crit chance, crit damage for the pistols. That one's the orbit. Why is this not for, say, what was the talent say? So swapping to this weapon grants that. Why is this so much more different than this talent? Or where did it go? It was this one. Killing an enemy with status. Why not just give this right here for the perfect vindictive on that one, what is it called? The SMG. Why not give us this? Why is that on a pistol? We swap to it, we get that damage, it gives us that damage. You know, why does a target have to be on status to get this one? That's another one that makes no sense. Now, as for masks, there's nothing on here, which there used to be stuff for masks, gloves, holsters, knee pads, and all that kind of stuff in Div 1. So all we have to go by is the talents that are on here, on our chest pieces and backpacks. Okay, let's talk about a few of these, okay? Tag team, it basically increases your cooldown by 6 seconds if you kill an enemy that you marked with a skill. Okay. There's not too many of them that you need to cool down that short a period of time to get it back that fast. So why not add some either weapon damage or skill damage to this as well? Yeah, it's a cooldown of 4 seconds, but why not increase a little bit of weapon damage or skill damage? Period. Why is there not a perfect kinetic momentum that gives, say, 1.5% skill damage and 3% repair skill? You know? Things of that nature. Yeah, we're getting a perfect spotter as well. It's going from 15 to 20. Okay, whoop-de-doo, 5% more. I remember when explosive delivery was on the freaking gloves. Does anybody else remember that one? That was beautiful. You toss out a hive and you had the BTSU gloves on. Boom. You had that going. But you still, they could even put that back on there and just say, hey, in order for this to work, you have to have, instead of 5 meters and all this other junk on there, or once per, or at most once per skill, they could put that back on the gloves and say that you have to be a tier 6 yellow, and then this will be applied. They could easily do that. The perfect overwatch, which goes from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Woo! I'm trading 2 seconds. Why not allow me to have, say, 15% to give to my team, or 20%, since you're giving all these other ones like this one here 15 to 20%. Protected reload. Why is there not a perfect protected reload? Yeah, it's not really great for the DZ or anything, but why doesn't it just grant, say, 30% bonus armor and 25% for a perfect one to your teammates, depending on your armor cores? That would be great. You know, give them that extra piece right there. And the same, like I said, with Gunslinger. The weapon damage on this one, you get 20%. Okay, I'm fine with 20%. Maybe a perfect one could be 25. But why is it 5 seconds? This one should be 10 seconds. Period. 10 seconds. Because of the backpack time, which we'll get to that one later, is 10 seconds. So why is this one 5? We got a perfect brace, perfect spark. Yay, perfect spark. Let's talk about this one, because this one here makes no sense. We get 15% weapon damage for 15 seconds. The perfect spark is 15 for 20 seconds. Versus they're giving us spotter of 15 seconds with weapon and skill damage, and yet this one here is weapon and skill damage as well because you're using a skill. Why doesn't this one give skill damage as well as 15% on top of that? It doesn't. It just gives weapon damage. You could give this one here the exact same thing as spotter and take off the 15 seconds and do the exact same thing as spotter and change it to 20% and skill damage. You could run either one that you wanted, spark or the other one. Trauma. It's another one that a lot of people use in the DZ. Okay. Why is this on a 30-second cooldown? Perfect one, you could drop it to say 20 seconds. And maybe even on this, the trauma for the perfect one in the DZ applies for shooting leg shots, say riot foam. So I get a blind in the head, a bleed in the chest, and riot foam on the feet. Stick them into place. 20-second cooldown. This one here, this talent is complete and utter garbage. Makes no sense. Killing an enemy adds 1 round of a random special ammo into your sidearm. Cooldown is 15 seconds. Why do I only get 1 round? There was a talent on the holster that they used to have, and a lot of people know about this one. Before, it was on the Gunslinger holster, the Dodge City Gunslinger holster, where it would give you piercing rounds. They should give you a full magazine of this right here whenever you kill an ad, not just 1 round of a special ammo. It should give you a full magazine of, say, piercing rounds, where I could shoot through a player and shoot through another player and another player, like you used to be able to prior in TU7 and all that beforehand. And yeah, okay, cooldown is 15 seconds. I'm still fine with that. But it should give you not 1 round, it should give you a whole magazine. Even if they want to leave it as special ammo, give us a whole magazine. Not 1 round, give us the mag. Mad Bomber, there's not a perfect one of that. I mean, it's a good talent. It really is. Because you gain bonus armor while you're cooking them. You can actually cook grenades. It increases its radius. Why doesn't it also just increase the damage of the grenade as well? This one right here was on the BTSU gloves. Maybe some of these things should go back. People loved that stuff. But again, maybe it doesn't need a cooldown per skill or arm time. Maybe you just have to have 6 cores, 6 yellow cores. Boom, and put that on the BTSU gloves. You'd get rid of this talent on the chest pieces and force people to use it that way. Entrench, another one, no perfect talent. Again, these are all things that we could use to give build diversity. Why in the heck don't you just take from cover off of this? Because if you're below 30% armor, headshots from cover repair 20% of your armor. You could easily make a perfect one where, or even just this one, fix it where it says not just from cover, just headshots repair 20% of your armor. You know, and leave the cooldown for 3 seconds. Just take away the from cover part, and people would run it. Now we're going to get into some backpack talents. Combined arms. Supposedly the perfect one is going to be going from 3 seconds to either 5 or 10 seconds. Cool. Awesome. Tech support. Makes no sense to be on the Alps. This one should be on a Wyvern. Because that way you can get the skill damage out. And people would run it more with the perfect tech support. So devs, fix this one. Because this one and this one makes sense. You have this one on a Hannah U. You have this one on a China Light. Because it's all part of the mortar. Why is this on a piece of Alps? Put this on Wyvern. Change that. Put the perfect tech support on Wyvern. Calculated. We have a perfect one of that. It's on a good brand set. Okay, makes sense. Safeguard. Why is there not a perfect safeguard that gives you 120%, just like the Future Initiative backpack that's on Alps? You could trade this here, Alps, to a perfect safeguard and be done. Instantly. Just like that. Give 120%. Boom. People would run that. Overclock, there's not a perfect one of that, which would be nice. Allies within, say, 10 meters of deployed skills gain 30% reload speed and reduce their cooldowns by, say, 0.3 seconds for each second. That'd be pretty nice. Not saying everybody would run it, but it'd be nice. Energized. Using armor kit. Another one. It really doesn't make any sense, especially for the cooldown, because how many people actually run that many skill tiers and put on a med kit and get the overcharge and then stuff like that? No one ever really runs this. It's just a pointless backpack talent. Hardly anybody who actually plays in decent builds ever uses this. This one makes no sense. And the perfect protector. Let's talk about this one. This one should be on a Bellstone, okay? And it should give you, say, not 5% bonus armor. It should give the player 12 or 15% bonus armor. The player, okay? And all other allies gained should still probably get, say, 20-25% of the armor that you have. And you could change that for the DZ to, say, every 7 seconds and put that on the cooldown, and leave the regular cooldown for when playing PvE to the 3 seconds. Leave it alone. But why on the Bellstone? Because it's about armor regen. And I have a build about that with the Foundry Bulwark, which makes perfect sense to put it on there. Or you could put it on a piece of Gilligard. Either one. But you could give these as perfect talents. That way. Leadership, which you're going from cover to cover to get this bonus armor. This one here as a perfect talent should go to 25 bonus armor. And it should be on a Petrov, because there's a LMG where you do cover to cover and you get close and then you get the damage. At the same time you would get armor. So leadership should be on there as well for a Petrov. Vigilance makes sense, but here's the one I've been talking about, versatile, where if you see SMGs, 15 meters, shotguns, all that, you switch between them, but you see the amplified total weapon damage is 10 seconds. The other one, which was Gunslinger, was 5 seconds. If I'm swapping between weapons, which these two work side by side, one's for 5, one's for 10. Okay? I should be able to have 10 seconds of damage on an SMG, because by the time I swap, shoot, and maybe I forgot to reload, I may have to reload, it may take me a second, so I lose about 2 seconds off that to have 3 seconds of damage to shoot. There should be 10 seconds in there. Okay? Period. 10 seconds on the one chest piece, 10 seconds on the backpack. We already know perfect opportunistic is coming in, so that's going to be interesting. A perfect unstoppable force. Let's talk about this one. This one's just as good as Vigilance. A lot of people don't know it, but you got to get kills to get so. So it's like stacking, kind of like a kinetic momentum for the backpack, but you're getting damage for your weapon. So why does this not have, say, not 15 seconds? Why not have a perfect one and leave it at 25, because Vigilance is 25. Why not give this here 20 seconds? Okay? Let's give it 20 seconds. Companion, it's going to be a neat and interesting deal, but why is it 5 meters? When there's other things I can put on here as well that gives me 7 meters. Or, let's say, 10 meters of an ally and skill. Okay, fine. Give us a perfect companion that gives us 7 meters and 20% weapon damage. Simple. We're not talking a whole lot, because we don't want to just give players all this extreme hard damage that just makes everything like this is the go-to meta, this is the go-to meta. We're talking very minute, tiny changes. Very tiny ones, like this. Okay, for example, perfect one, 7 meters. 20% weapon damage. Boom. Simple. Done. Same with this one. While in cover, okay, I get behind cover on a wall. Okay, why is it not a perfect composure? Give me 20% right there. You're increasing this by 5. This one here's 25. We're only talking 5. Concussion. Why is there not a perfect concussion? I haven't seen one. There should be one, especially with this update. Especially with this update, where it doesn't just work 5 seconds with marksman rifles. It should say, let's just put it as leaving everything else the same, but for headshots total increase for 5 seconds for any weapon as a perfect one. Okay, and maybe even put that on a piece of Fenris because of the new update and everything that's coming out. People would run this in a heartbeat because then they get 5 seconds of, shoot, I shot some dude, I have to run away, I have to move around this corner to put a med pack on, I got to do this, that. It gives me 5 seconds to reload, re-engage, boom, I get the damage. And it's only 10%. It's not the full 25 because I got to get the headshot kill to increase it to an extra 15. So why not just give us a perfect one with 5? Creeping Death, I don't want to talk about that one. As I've always said, Wicked. This one here is 18%, okay, for 20 seconds. Vigilance is 25. Every time you see a player with a Wicked type build, they will never get the same amount of damage as someone who's using Vigilance from a distance. Nor the same will you see it with the person who's using Concussion, because they're going to have 25. So why isn't this one, say, 20 already, and then give us a perfect one for 25 for 20 seconds, not 27 seconds? Clutch, another one, especially with this update that's coming out. Why is the perfect clutch and all that still have this bottom piece on? Kills allow you to repair up to 100% armor for 4 to 10 seconds based on the number of red cores. Why is this even on there? The clutch, the top part alone, is all we need. Okay, we don't need to keep getting our armor back for 100% of our armor 4 to 10 seconds out, because that's not even been guaranteed. Like, even if I kill a player, I don't ever see 100% of it come back. Never, ever. Even when I've tested this stuff, even when I've killed an NPC, I never see 100% of it just come back. It allows me, because it says kills allow you to repair up to, which doesn't make any sense. You could literally just cut that part off and leave it at 15 to 20% of your armor. Critical hits repair 2.5 missing armor, like the perfect clutch does. You could leave that just as it is and drop that piece off, and it would be just back to the way clutch used to be. But y'all don't do this.
You need help with something?
Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the med packs. A lot of people don't know, but they have put in instant med packs. So I'm going to talk about this for a split second or two because I want y'all to kind of understand what this means. I could run a Grenadier, okay, and get, say, all this stuff on here where armor is reduced to 0, refills my magazine. Boom. I get this crit chance mod. I get this damage targets out of cover, okay. Then I can even throw on, say, the Artificer Hive with this. By using the Grenadier, I could put an Artificer Hive on a Grenadier and heal my shield. Get all that extra multiplicative type damage out and so forth. And then I can even throw on the med pack from this dude, where I can have this. And rather than having to show the putting the med pack on and that stuff, I hit a button like I'm using system corruption and boom, instant med pack. But I get it as this. I get this med pack while having this multiplicative damage, this extra reload if they crack my armor, and then I also have this right here to protect a shield if I wanted to do so. This is how bad it's going to be. Because also, let's talk, while talking about that, as you can see, these DZs are non-invaded. This one is. Most people don't understand that the difference between this one versus this one is this one has turrets. This one does not. Supposedly in the new update, this one is going to lose its turrets. So you're not going to be able to sit inside this little checkpoint at a door behind the turrets that are right over here. That means people are going to be up in the door camping, even over here at Invaded. But the only good thing, supposedly, and again this is hearsay, but some emails I've got, is players are going to actually be able to have immunity as they come out of the door. So you're going to be able to run right past the player for, I think, what they said, 5 seconds or so, and they wouldn't be able to shoot you, allowing you to get out. But you could have all that extra damage and instant med packs to still keep running away as they chase you. They're not going to be able to stop you. So you're going to have this med pack with this or whatever you want, with whatever type of skill you want from these guys, and just get past a player in the DZ. Yeah, it's basically like Div 1 used to be, but it's going to make for some interesting stuff. So I hope that this live stream was good. I hope it's still up and going. I'll be checking on it here in a little bit. I just want to go over some of those things. I hope that the devs get this video because I want more diversity. Okay, I don't want this to be the only way to run a DPS build. I don't want this to be the only way to run a skill build to get the damage out. I don't want this to be the only, medic and so forth and so forth and so forth. All my builds that I have. I don't want that players to be like, okay, this is the only way to get the most DPS out, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I want them to have a chance to get, say, if you're using a wicked build, I want them to have that ability to use different types of things to make the build diversity. To say, hey, this build hits the same as that build, but I've got this talent and this talent on. Okay, and you have this talent and this talent on, and they hit about the same. That's what I want for the players. I want them to have and use whatever they want and get the same type of numbers for what they're using, even if they have, say, this many blues and this many reds. Doesn't matter. If I put all reds on the exact same build, I want them to hit for the same. That way they can use anything that they wish. And that's build diversity. But the devs don't want that. So, another thing, as I was also talking about skills, I want to go over a few skills, a few more that need to be addressed. The repair trap. Let me just go down here and show y'all what I mean by the repair trap. This thing was thrown into the game and has not been touched, has not been mentioned, hasn't been done anything, because nobody worries about it. No one ever thinks it's usable. As a medic, okay, if I go to this, right now I have 3 traps. As a matter of fact, let's just go to my medic build before I even go over this, so I can show you the max. Corpsman. Okay. So I have, this is the max health and healing. You can see I've got max healing, all that on there. Same with this. I have max heals. So this is the strongest heals you will see in the game. Okay. It's short by 20% because I'm using R and K. So it's still the max. But what I mean by this is, if you look at PvP repair, ally repair, it's 724. Okay. If I go to this, it's 583. But if I go to it, there's no heal. There's no heal, but there's shock. Duration, but there's no shock. It's shock, there's no heal. No heal anywhere. You can put a heal mod in here. You can give it some healing mods. But the main part about this that I want to talk about is this. Let's trade this out for the repair traps. And let me show you what I mean. This thing would be great, except for this. I want y'all to look. I can throw it out here, and they're going to go on that line. But I use left, right, control, nothing. I just aim, it goes in a straight line. Which means I'd have to toss it out to my left or to my right to get a straight line if I have to run forward. Okay? But even if I do so, these things are not anywhere close together. I want y'all to look at this. Look at that. They are so close that if I touch this one, if I'm literally running, I could get hit by that one. Now, here's another piece to this that a lot of people don't know. These things would be great, and I do mean this, these things would be great in the DZ, because if I got overcharge on them, read that immunization serum. Traps also provide status effect immunity for 10 seconds. That means you could have these things on the ground, and players get hit by a status effect, and boom, you have status effect immunity. You could literally put these things out, not have to worry about much, because these give almost the same amount of heal as a chem launcher does. and you have 8 of them on the ground, but they're so close together, and I can't say I want them to go straight up towards that area, or they only go left to right. That's it. They go left to right. And even still, I threw them out. You saw the line was straight across. They still went at an angle. That's how broken traps are. So, these would be great if they were actually looked at, maybe given a little bit more healing, and maybe more or farther range apart from each other. You know, things of that nature. Another one is the Achilles pulse. This here should always be the first spot to target is going to be a headshot. The second one should just be on the gut of a player. It shouldn't be some random zone on them. Yes, if you want to give me, say, 3 zones, give me head shot, give me body shot, give me leg shot. It shouldn't be left leg at his ankle. It shouldn't be right arm at his, elbow. It shouldn't be on the back of the player. It should just be chest, head, and leg. Period. Wherever I want to shoot. Doesn't have to be the back of the head. Doesn't have to be the front of the head. Just shoot the head. Boom. I get that shot. Back. I shoot the back. Or chest. I shoot chest or back. It counts as that spot. It only gives you 3 spots. So give us those 3 spots. The Firefly. Another one that's the Demolisher. It is only good against hives and turrets and drones. Yeah, I could target someone's other decoy and things like that, but there's no need to. Why does this not allow me to target, say, a weak point on a player when I can do the exact same thing to NPCs? There should be a weak spot on a player that only this can target. Not my gun, not anything else that I use, just this. It should also be able to target their shield. So say a player has a big bulwark shield. I could throw this at it and it destroys their shield. Boom. Instantly done. What's another good one? The air burster. Why doesn't this thing just send out and then explode and then in a radius? Why does it have to shoot up into the air and then come back down? This thing could literally just be reworked where when it rolls over there, just like this one, it explodes and causes a bleed within that circular area. Why doesn't this one just crap out fire in a ring right there? Why does it have to jump up and then drop down for PvP? This would be great for PvP if you were to set it up that way. Don't have to worry about the burn duration and everything else. It's still pretty strong, but you could set it up that way. And the turrets. This one here uses up its fire so fast, but it has such weak burn damage compared to this right here. Yet if I am standing in front of my turret, doesn't matter how much armor I have, it roasts me alive. Player versus player, this thing does not do the damage. But this thing versus me, myself, if it's my own turret and I drop it on the ground, I don't even have to have glass cannon. This thing would drop me. It hits so hard against you. And another one, this one here used to be an incoming just nuclear missile. Nowadays, it's like a fart in the wind. Bring this one's explosive damage back against players like it used to be. Increase it to, I think it's 1.2 right now. I don't even have an explosive build on. And this one here is 299. I get it's got a lot of bombs, but maybe instead of having a bunch of bombs, maybe it gets the same thing as a BTSU where it just comes out there and it just seeks right after you and explodes. Give us the 2.9 on this as well. Just give us one bomb where it just flies at a target and boom. Maybe when you get it up to a certain level, you give us 2 of these drones or 3 of the drones. Instead of just 9 bombs. Maybe give us 3 of these drones so you can send it after 3 players. And the last thing is this one right here. The deflector shield. I could have 3 enemies right in front of me in a very small range. And this thing goes left, right, left, right, left, right, center, left, right, center, center, left, right, all over the place. It has no choice to select which one I'm aiming at. If I'm shooting at that target, it should be aimed at that target. Period. Just like if I have this and this weapon I wanted to talk about, because now I want to get into weapons. That thing does the exact same thing as this right here. You see that little line of where it goes to. This thing should not, in PvP, go for random targets. If I aim at that person, that line should be on that person. Period. The Bullet King's damage needs to be increased severely. I mean, yes, it looks a little bit different than us. This one here should be somewhere around, I want to say 63K, 64K to give it more damage, and as well as this, the crit damage. Okay, I get crit damage at the bottom, but why not give us, say, maybe crit chance or headshot damage or something like that. Like this one, I'm not saying give it headshot damage. Please do not do that. I'm just saying give us something better than crit damage. Because if you look at this thing, there's nothing on here except for this to give us crit chance. 5% crit chance for 10% crit damage. Not really that great. The chatterbox, this one here, the crit damage makes no sense on this whatsoever. It could hit just as strong as this with, say, a Hunter's Fury, and I've shown that. But this one here will still beat it because of the small amount of magazine. Yes, it's got 60, but why do you guys not give us, say, damage to targets out of cover? Why not on this one? It would literally hit per bullet and everything else a little bit, especially when this one here's got the maxed out breathe fire. This one would hit almost a little bit less than this one here, just by having damage targets out of cover, with the 60% or with the 60 mag at 700 RPM. What was it? Oh yes, the chameleon. I get the crit chance part. I do. I understand it. But because I've also got this extra crit chance, I never have to worry about crit chance whatsoever. The stability and accuracy, I get it, but there's no crit damage. Why don't you trade that 9.5% crit chance to crit damage? Because we have the crit chance. Give us some crit damage. Yeah, we can get crit damage of 50% by hitting headshots. And maybe this here is going to make a huge comeback with the new build, because hitting those headshots, I'll get the crit chance, I get the crit damage. I've also got headshot damage. So why doesn't this one here have crit chance? Why not give it crit or headshot damage? This would make this build or this weapon so OP for the new update with the new stuff. The lullaby. Melee attacks instantly kill non-elite enemies, and the cooldown is 15 seconds. Okay, why is this one here, even though it hits really hard, why don't y'all give us something for PvP on this? These guns are only good at just walking around slapping targets. Other than that, we just throw them away. They're not even worth it. The Merciless. The crit chance. We have accuracy, reload speed, weapon handling, and stability. Okay, I get it. The crit chance is there to help increase the damage. But why, if this one here hits less than this one, because this one here has damage targets out of cover and has 10% damage to armor plates increased, that's why this one hits harder. Why do you guys not give us, say, it just shoots 2 bullets? Or like it used to be where the first bullet hits it, the second one primes it, and it explodes. Why not just let it go back to like it was? And then give us the 500% amplified damage. So we also get that explosive damage out of here. The Liberty, and I don't know why, but do y'all remember the Liberty prior to there? This one here used to highlight, and it still says it highlights vulnerabilities. If it still says that on here, why the heck is there no visible spots on enemies where I can just see them as vulnerable? Now, if I use a pulse and I pulse them, I will see it. But without that pulse, I don't see it. You used to be able to just aim at a target and be like, oh, there it is. Because I'm aimed at him, he's instantly pulsed. Where are these spots at again? Yeah, it says headshot damage, but right there. But where's that vulnerable spot that we used to see? It's got crit chance, rate of fire, weapon handling. Okay. Nothing more there. The Regulus. Not so much here. Reload speed, accuracy. Yes, it increased the accuracy. And it gives the bleed. Okay. There's nothing that needs to be fixed on this one. It's actually a decent one. It really is. But there are things like that you guys could go over here and fix. Like the Vile Mask. Now that we're all on exotics, let's talk about the Vile Mask for one split second. Why is there hazard protection? There should be skill damage where there's hazard protection. Same with this holster, the Imperial Dynasty. Why is there hazard protection? Why are you guys not putting skill damage on there to increase the burn effect? Especially since you traded the cooldown to 35 seconds. The Dodge City Gunslinger holster used to give accuracy, stability, all that kinds of stuff. You could literally say that it gives it only 2 pistols. You could have done that and left it as it was and give us that bullet damage that goes through a target. But you didn't. You took it all away. Another one. The Ninja Bikes. Performing a cover-to-cover gives you 25% bonus armor for 5 seconds. No one hardly ever, I mean, you can make a build around them, but no one hardly ever uses them. No actual PvP player uses these. They use these at times to avoid the stagger of explosions, especially on explosive-resistant builds, but no one ever uses these. You could give that not 25% bonus armor, you could literally give that, say, 15% damage and 15% bonus armor. Seriously, do it like that. People would start using these in a heartbeat. I guarantee you. You can leave the reload speed like it is. A cost to go bag. Not a bad one. Actually pretty decent. Not really going to go on that one. But the Memento. Yes, it's got weapon damage. Yes, it's got armor. Yes, it's got skill tier. The only thing players would love to see right here, more than anything, just like you did with the new mask, that one that's got two mod slots, give this one 2 mod slots. That's the only thing players want, because they're always missing either that 6% crit chance, that, say, 12% crit damage, because they have one on there, and because they don't have those other 2 attributes, they're missing one of the 2. You could give them that and allow the player to have that extra crit damage or that extra crit chance that they want to have on their build, and they'd still be losing 12% of crit damage or 6% crit chance, depending on which way they go with using that backpack or armor regen or hazard protection. They would be missing that. Still give it to them, but you don't. Tardigrade, it's actually a pretty decent chest piece. The only thing I would say here is maybe instead of explosive resistance, maybe that incoming repair. I would just say that one. But the Ridgeway's chest piece, because we're getting that regen, which a lot of people don't understand, it's per second. It's not continuous like, say, this chest piece armor regen. Because this armor regen is on a constant deal. I will always continuously get that armor regen. You go to my armor regen build and see that one. But this one here is per second, so I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth to get 3%. Now, even still at 48%, it's still 48% at 1, 2, 4, 5. All y'all have to do to fix this, to make this chest piece super viable, is get rid of that per second part where it says repair 3 to 48 of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding. Just get rid of that per second part. Literally. Get rid of that part, edit that chest piece that way, and it would be a great chest piece. Period. There was one more thing I was going to talk about for exotics. Oh yeah. The new exotic gloves that are coming in. I'm willing to put that it's going to be something to do with this. Either damage to armor, just like this, to get us some extra damage out. So it's going to be something about damage, or it's going to be something about this. Because of the way the new gear set's going. Armor on kill. Why do I say that? Because you have the Alp Summit gloves, which gives you repair skills, and those are a named glove that you can craft. And then you have the death grips, and you have the contractor gloves. Those are all about damage and armor on kill. The new exotic gloves are going to be somewhere along those lines. So they're either going to be a blue or a red. Guaranteed. That's how they're going to be. Why? Because, hey, look at here. We got a red mask. We got a yellow mask. What are they bringing in? A blue mask. Kind of the same thing down here. This one here, if you want to do it right, this one here is a yellow. This one here is a red. Why isn't this one a blue then? Why is this about status effect? Make it a blue. Same here. We've got a red and a blue. Red and a blue. Where's the yellow knee pads? Guarantee you they're coming. Don't know what they are. I bet you they're coming. This one here, yellow. This one here is typically about a red. Even though you got the armor and the skill, it's mainly about the red for the weapon damage. So I'm pretty sure at some point later on, we're going to see a blue backpack. So we're getting these gloves. They've got some hidden gloves somewhere in the PTS that's coming up. Bet you they're going to be red or a blue. Mark my words, people. That's what it's going to be. But as always, I tried to make this video because I just got tired of cutting and editing out certain things. But yeah, hopefully at some point they look at this video. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I can shit in one hand, wish in the other. But yeah, I hope to God that they fix some of these things. Maybe they take a look at it and go, yeah, this is a good idea. Maybe we should try this. And now they're like, not all of these are great ideas. Okay, pick and choose which ones. Hit me up, devs. Got some ideas for y'all. But otherwise, hope this helps you guys out. Tell y'all where some things are going with the division. As always, be safe out there. Be blessed. And I'll see y'all in the DZ.